No. What's up, everybody? I am getting myself lived up. Let's put on a little music. And what's the good one? There it is. Oh. Just like Michael Phelps, meditation helps. Do it every day. That is what they say. The Buddha knew the way to sit and pray. Calm the mind. Breath is the thing to see. Sit and see, and then you'll be here and now. I'll show you how. Just do the thing. But you know that I was a talented rapper. I'm a man of many talents. Something set up there. Down there. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a very, very belated edition of Tuesday Night Live. So belated that it is in fact Thursday. So Thursday Night Live. Luckily, it's still considered a TNL. Actually live today from Woodland Hills, California, on both Instagram and Facebook. Hope you're all doing well. What is up, my friends? Nice to see you. Invite you to say hi. What's going on? Let me know how you guys are doing this evening. What is up, my dear friend? We're going to give a little bit of a teaching this evening, and then we're going to do a little bit of practice. I have an Instagram camera here, a Facebook camera here. I'm going to go between the two. And apparently, Krista says I'm one of the best people to mind you. I will take it. From me and Krista. Better late than never. I totally agree. What's up, Travis? Tess is in the tub. That sounds amazing. I should probably do one of these from the bathtub at some point. Just like totally chill out. And then just, give that relaxation. It's actually kind of what I wanted to talk about because we are starting an hour later than normal and 2 days later than normal. What's up, Picasso? We did a Vipassana retreat together. So yeah, I'm 2.5 days late, but better late than never for sure. Hello, Alexis from the other room. I have some cool things to talk about, as usual, and I'm gonna just kind of get right into it. Please do an online course on how to relax. I'm doing it right now. This is it. So today I am going to talk to you about the field. Whoa, the field. What do you guys think that field is? That's funny. When I look at my Instagram, it looks like this hat's backwards, but on Facebook, it's the right way. Who knows what the field is? When I say the field, and it's not a field of grass, what is the field? Anybody? Anybody? I know there's a bit of a delay. Anybody? The field. Tick-tock goes the clock. So, okay, here we go. The electric field that keeps on electrocuting my soul. Love that. Yes. Hope it's not too painful. The energy. Yep. So, when you walk into a room, infinite potential, says Alexis Divinity. Best reflexologist this side of the Mississippi River. Thank you, Alexis. I had a thought maybe this evening I would give my teaching with a southern accent, but I do not wish to offend those living in a southern location, so I will pull my accent back from my southern roots, and I will instead talk like a man from Boston. So if you ever like walk into a room and you feel just like the vibe of that space, right? Like let's say that you feel like a real like relaxed energy in that room. You would say that that is the field, right? It's an energy field. When I saw the Dalai Lama for the first time, the Dalai Lama came out on stage in front of, I don't know, 10,000, 15,000, maybe like 50,000 people. And I started crying. He just came out and I was like, what is happening? I was like, I just started crying and I look over and the monks next to me, they're crying and they're like, why am I crying? Right. That the Dalai Lama came out and he just had this beautiful, penetrating energy of love to the point that just he walked into a space and everyone just kind of started crying all at once. It's really powerful. Right. So the field of energy is kind of the frequency, what you're emitting and also what you're residing in. Right. We could say that, in the beginning, there was a field of energy. And then out of that field of energy arose material and form. Out of that field of energy arose Seth, the grosser aspects of Seth, as it were. And eventually the grosser aspects of Seth will return to the earth and that field of energy will disperse and continue on. As Thich Nhat Hanh says, a cloud never dies, right? It keeps on moving. But the energy field that we can create, it's like, again, if you walk into a space and you can just feel, I think we call it sometimes the vibe, right? But something that I've been learning and playing with slowly is that we can connect with and utilize the fields, that the field of energy that we're connected to actually can create our experiences. So we have that part of our brain that loves to plan, that loves to strategize, that wants the concrete steps and how to do the things, right? Or you can connect to the field of energy. You can connect to a feeling of lightness. You can connect to a feeling of peace, to a feeling of spaciousness, to a feeling of fun. And then as you interact with others, as you interact with the space, that's the vibration that's kind of picked up and other people kind of click in. If you ever go to a band, right? People that are playing music, they create a field of energy. And then everyone starts moving and swaying to that field of energy and you're all in it. And if the band's really good, they can bring that field up and up and up and up. And wow, right? If they're not that good, almost went back into my Southern accent. If they're not that good, sometimes say the crowd's not really feeling it and the crowd's kind of like, meh, then all of a sudden the band starts to absorb the field from the crowd and they kind of go inwards. If you ever go to a comedy show, right? A really good comedian can come and they can just own the energy field. They can come in and they can just start saying things. And they can just start shifting the energy to get everyone moving and laughing and opening, right? Or a bad comedian, as it were, they'd come out and they would start trying to interact with the crowd unsuccessfully. And they would, just get a lot of like quiet and a lot of like resistance. So an energy field is something that we can tune into. Let's just say that it's not necessarily me, but it also is connected to me. And if I can connect to the proper energy field, I can transmit that field. I can be an anchor for that energy, and I can also share it with others. If I'm holding a field of, let's say, openness and connection, right? And I can walk into a party and I'll just kind of be creating that around me and the people that I'm interacting with will get in there. And if I can hold that field, I'll start to create that vibration around me. And, there's many times where I walk into a space and everyone's kind of sitting in different places and I'll like just talk to everyone at once and people all look and suddenly everyone starts connecting. And by the time I leave, the whole room feels like it's one coherent, connective field. So Travis says he's constantly working on the field during firewalks to help create safe and successful firewalks. Exactly. So when we meditate, and also like when we teach meditation is something that, right, we can say, okay, you're going to sit and you're going to relax and you're going to focus on your breath. And we can give these very clear kind of like steps, these like step-by-step, very linear, logical, here's how to do the thing. Or an amazing meditation teacher, I'm not saying that that's me, can create a field of energy. They can tap into a feeling of peace, tap into a feeling of openness, that they can get the field just right dialed in, that eventually when you're meditating, you're not even doing it. It's just happening. It's just happening to you. Yeah. If you go to some like amazing monasteries, some amazing ashrams, even some great yoga studios or some spiritual places, You just go there and the field of energy there, the vibration, it just puts you into that state. You just meditate automatically, right? Conversely, different energy fields can be chaotic, can be disruptive, can be oppressive, right? There's times where I've been to like 31 countries. There's some countries you get off the plane or you go there and you're like, oh, like just the overall collective vibe here feels like heavy, right? Or you go other places and people are just open and they're happy and they're talking to you, and you just feel that there's this collective field of energy that's more, conducive to connection and openness, right? So what is it like if we work with the fields, right? What does it mean to work in the field of energy? What if we focus less on how, right? On the how we're going to do things, how we're going to build things, how we're going to create things. What if we focus less on the how, which is very like up here, thinking, mind, controlling things, linear. And what if we just walked in from a place of joy and friendship and openness? Tonight, myself and Alexis, we were hanging out and we went to sit on the beach, and we kind of were talking about the field and being in the field of energy. And I somehow ended up telling her about when I was in college, I sang in a Sublime cover band briefly. And, it was like one of my favorite things to do. And as we're just kind of like hanging out in this space, we hear somebody playing music and we go, and it's like this restaurant, they have this outdoor area, and we just start chatting up people. And before you know it, like I'm on stage next to the guy and he's playing a Sublime song and I'm singing it along. And I'm like, how crazy is it that just from talking about this a few minutes ago, I'm actually now here again doing this in front of, a couple people, but it was still like a great ambiance. But just flowing with life and just feeling the joy. And at the end of that, one guy's like, you can come on my boat with me and we'll go down to San Diego and hang out. And someone else, the owner, came out and he's like, oh, you should come tomorrow night and play music. And suddenly all these opportunities opened up, right? Not for me trying to get opportunities, but for me just going and enjoying and being a pleasant presence and being an uplifting, warm, friendly person. Suddenly all these things opened up to me. And then, people wanted me around and all these things happened. And it was this kind of interesting thing, it's like, imagine if you go to a job interview and you're not like trying to get the job. What if you just went to a job interview and you're like, I'm just going to enjoy and I'm going to, share enjoyment with the person sitting in front of me? You're more likely to get hired because the person likes you and they like your vibe. And maybe if someone else is like a little more qualified, but they'd rather work with you, they'll probably hire you. Think about it in terms of relationships. Sometimes like we see a pretty boy or girl or person that we want to be with, and then we get kind of like weird or like we kind of strategize or like we want to do a thing. And it's like, what if you were just, people always say be yourself, but yeah, it's like, what if you were actually just enjoying and friendly and fun? You would, as they say, like catch more butterflies by becoming a garden versus trying to chase them, right? If you chase a butterfly, it flies away. But if you become a garden, if you become flower, things come to you. So what would it be like if we start to actually work in the field of energy, that we start to allow ourselves to be in a higher energy state? Something that I've learned, it's from this man, Donnie Epstein, who invented network spinal chiropractics. It's done more for the field of chiropractic than anybody since its inception. He talks about multiple energy states. There's energy poor, energy neutral, energy rich, and super energy rich, right? Energy poor, an energy poor state is when you're in a state where you feel like you're stuck, you're in pain, you're in survival mode, you're feeling contracted. All you can kind of focus on is surviving the pain you're in, right? Energy poor. You can't do anything. You're just stuck in this thing. You're depressed, you're heavy, you're defeated, you're deflated, right? You have no energy. You're just energy depleted out, right? People need to fucking pick you up and help you. You need to go sit in a sauna or something, right? You're just out of it, right? Energy poor, stuck, can't do anything, miserable state. Moving up from energy poor, there's energy neutral. Energy neutral is like, let's say the average human being who gets up, they go to work, they come home, they've made enough money, they sit in front of the TV and watch Netflix. They're not in survival mode anymore. They're not like in pain constantly, but they're kind of like numb. Like they're just coasting by, they're treading water, they're not really moving forward, they're not really moving back. Honestly, society as a whole is kind of generally stuck around energy low to energy neutral, right? Most of us are kind of just in this like numb autopilot-y kind of like, I'm happy that I'm not in energy poor. I'm happy that I'm not in survival, but we just kind of stay in that level, right? We don't necessarily strive for more because that could create instability and then it might sink us. We'd rather just stay in a comfortable place, right? So I'd say energy poor, it's like comfortable, right? But comfortable, it's not exciting, it's not extraordinary. So energy rich is when you're a little bit more lit up. You're kind of like shining, you're giving energy, you're beaming energy, you're happy, you're excited, you're joyful, right? Energy rich is like when you're just feeling really good. You're like, I'm actually really fucking happy right now. Like I'm just, and I can even, and my happiness is even infectious, right? I can even like share that happiness with other people. So energy rich is like a state where, I think we would aspire to be, right? Where people are on vacation and they're like, wow, or they're at a concert and it's like, oh my God, this feels good. I feel alive again. I feel connected to myself. Like, oh my God, like life's moving and things are happening and it feels really good, right? It's a higher energy state, right? This is energy rich. Then there's something called super energy rich. Super energy rich is like a state that you see often like in movies and stuff. And someone's like, quits their job and is like, fuck all this. And I'm going to take my car and I'm going to go cross country and I'm going to like do something like extraordinary and unbelievable. Like you just jump into the void of the unknown. You jump into the state of like ecstatic, like, I don't know what, and you're just adventuring and things are happening and it's just like wild. And you're like, whoa, it's just this thing beyond your wildest dreams. And it's kind of being created in real time. Right. So this is super energy rich, right? It's this state, these explosive states of just change and amazement. Right. Super energy rich, although it's the highest state, they're very unstable. It's an unstable state because super energy rich is the state of like, when I was like traveling through India, I would say it was like a lot of super energy rich because I could just go on my impulse, on my inspiration, just have amazing experiences. Things would happen, no anchors, just going out into the world, right? And just wow, whoa, just but it's not necessarily sustainable. Super energy rich is really like that explosive power that can make things happen. Energy rich is a little bit more sustainable. Energy rich is more of a state where we actually have enough energy to give energy to others, to support others, to share happiness, to share love, to give excitement, right? That it feels good. Life feels good. Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm alive. This feels good, right? Like right now, the energy you're receiving from me, this is like an energy rich state, right? I feel good and I'm able to send you guys energy and support you because I'm in a good space. I feel good. I feel happy, right? Dropping down to energy poor, right? Energy poor, it's like the state where you're just like, I don't know, I'm like on my phone. Oh, Seth, looks like Seth's live. What's he talking about? What's up, Jackson? It's like, yeah, Seth's live. I don't know. What's he with that, right? Energy poor, it's like neither here nor there, kind of just like, meh. We're in that kind of just like neutral state, right? Sorry, energy neutral. Apologize. Energy neutral state, right? And again, energy poor, it's like when you're not doing good. Energy poor is like down, down, down. So one of the things that I've been reflecting on for myself is recognizing when I'm in an energy neutral state, right? Energy poor, energy poor. It's what do they say? There's like the devil and the devil you don't know. Energy poor is the devil you know. When you're energy poor, you're miserable. You're in pain. You feel stuck. It's very clear that you're not doing good for you and everyone around you. Energy neutral is the devil you don't know. Energy neutral is just that coasting state that you don't even think to get out of, or you don't know that there is a way out of it, right? An energy neutral state is just that you are just like in it and you're just like, things are just they're blah. You're not really sourced, right? You might have feelings that you're not really getting in touch with. You might have like projects you want to do, but you're not executing on them, conversations you need to have that you're not like addressing. That it could be a state that you're just kind of feeling like you're just here and you're stuck. This is the average state of our society, also kind of like orchestrated that way, right? It's the way to keep people also just the most like obedient and docile. And if society was too heavy and people were like breaking down and in energy poor states and in so much pain, eventually there'd be like a revolution or rebellion. So keeping people in energy neutral is good. Energy rich, it would be too many people wanting to affect too much change, which creates instability, which is not great for like a structure that wants to like have control, right? So unfortunately, right, the powers that be enjoy having us in an energy neutral to energy poor state. Energy poor also means that you're going to become more of a consumer. It means that you're going to go and take medication. It's that you're going to take substances, right? When you're in pain, you want to get out of that pain. You want to feel better. How do we feel better generally? Right? Unfortunately, it's not through getting out in nature. It's not through eating whole foods. It's not through attending to ourselves emotionally, because it's not really that available or talked about. So a lot of the ways that people try to get into a better energy state is through buying things as well. let's say, conscious energy realizes matter. The realization of your energy defines the state of your matter. Brilliant. Yes. Very good. So this is a great way to also talk about it, right? And Tony Robbins talks about this as well, right? But changing your state, right? Our bodies are made up of matter also. So when you're created like a different state, your body looks different. When I'm in an energy rich state, my face lights up, right? My actual physical matter shifts. Right? It's not just because I put on like moisturizer today, right? It's like I actually feel like, boom, I'm more alive. When I'm energy poor and I'm kind of like closed off and I'm talking in like a dull and a flat way, I'm not really, okay, we're going to meditate today, I guess. Right. That's energy poor, right? You just felt the whole field kind of get sucked in right there, right? It drops, right? And we all have people in our lives and even ourselves sometimes that we get into that state where we're just kind of like heavy and exhausted and tired and we just kind of suck everything down with us, right? And it's like, like it's heavy and it's a lot. And almost have to like shake that out. So connecting to an energy rich state, a lot of this now comes back to the field around us. And finding for yourself, how do I get myself from energy neutral into energy rich? Right. And there's a few different ways. Some people do it by reflecting on their past, right? Connecting to like nice memories and people that loved them and happy places, and they feel filled up by that. Some people feel more energy rich by connecting to the future, connecting to who they want to be, what they want to become, what they want the world to look like, that they project time travel right into the future and they connect to something that inspires them and they want to move towards that. Some people become more energy rich by connecting to their body and feeling their feelings and really kind of going through it and being like, okay, yeah, now I'm ready. I'm feeling better. Some people get into an energy richer state by actually connecting to the energy around them, right? To that field and really being like, all right, I'm more than this body, right? There's energy around me. Allowing other people and also putting yourself in an energy rich situation, going out, going to a yoga class, going to a concert, going to a thing, an ecstatic dance, right? Put yourself in an energy rich situation. A lot of people actually go to like events, go to concerts, go to retreats, go to things because it raises them up into an energy rich state, right? We actually want to be in an energy rich state. We want to be happy. We want to be kind of thriving and feeling like we're flying, right? We're actually all aiming for that place. But even you'll notice if you go to like a concert, you go to an event, you go to a retreat, you go to a thing, you'll get into that energy rich state. You might even get into the super energy rich state where you're like, I'm going to make a big decision that's going to affect the rest of my life. And you might make a big change and then you're riding in energy rich, but then you might get home and you might fall back into your energy neutral state, right? This is a very common thing is that we have this really beautiful riding high on the wave and then you just drop back into that state of neutrality. We drop back into that state of like everyday ho hum. So, what are ways that we could start finding for ourselves to remain more in an energy rich state? How can we build that into our lives? The people that we connect with, going to events, the way that we language and think about things, right? How do we show up in our lives in a way that's more open, that's more inspiring, that's more joyful, that's more fun, right? Fun is an energy rich state, right? You're laughing, you're infectious, you're out there, you're moving. So, this is a framework, a schematic, right? For us to start looking at, just to start examining things. What is energy rich? What is energy neutral? What is energy poor? What is super rich? And seeing for ourselves when we get stuck or when we're residing in one and how we can start playing with that. Again, if you're in an energy neutral state, right? If you're just in that middle, like going to work, coming home on your phone, watching the TV, doing the thing, just kind of blah, really realizing, okay, this is what energy neutral feels like, right? It's not great. It's neither here nor there. I'm not in survival mode, but not like happy. And really from that state, take that moment to say, what and where and how, you know, can I add a little more energy? Do I need like a friend over? Do I need to go somewhere? Do I need to go on a hike? Do I want to go to an event? Do I need to take a bath? Do I need to do a project? Do I need to clean my room? What is the thing? Do I need to just start dancing and singing? What is the thing, right, actively that I can do to start opening that up? When I talk about the field now, something that I've talked about in one of these other talks, something I talked about in another talk, is when we connect to a feeling of victory, right? Connect to a feeling of victory. Where do we feel that? Do we feel it in the body or do we feel it around the body? Usually when people are victorious, yeah, they do this victory pose up here, right? Connecting to this feeling of victory. So this is the field, right? This is the energy field, this feeling of victory. Something that I've been playing with, and I mentioned this on another talk again, I call this magic, is that I take something that I'm struggling with, I take something I want to manifest or achieve, and I put it up into the field. I put it towards that feeling of victory, right? So tonight I was talking about playing in a Sublime cover band and all this stuff, and I was putting it up into this feeling of like, wow, it was so great, and all these things happened. And then an hour later, I'm actually standing tonight on stage, like, singing with this guy who's playing Sublime. It was just like, whoa, how'd that happen? I don't even know what night it is anymore. Tuesday, why I missed Tuesday Night Live is I went to see one of my favorite artists, Nako and Medicine for the People. Meditation helps. And I said I'd really like to meet Nako. I've always wanted to meet him. And so I put that into the field. I actually shifted that towards that feeling of victory in my energy field. And as I did that, I saw this like woman who was taking photos, and I was like, where could one like see Nako? And she's like, well, I mean, I don't know, but I think, maybe if you went around the alleyway outside after the show, you could probably see him because, that's where his van drops him off. And, I would know that because I'm actually his van driver and I'm actually his girlfriend. And that's like how I know. So if you wanted to meet him, just go out into the alleyway. And I was like, what? So I went with Alexis, who says that his girlfriend just messaged her back, which is hilarious, in the field. And we hung out in the alleyway, and like, sure enough, he came out and we started chatting. And what was really cool is that, I I saw him and I was like, hey, like, can I get a photo or whatever? And I ended up like helping him like move, some of his gear in his truck. And then he looked at me and he goes, you look familiar. And I said, yeah, I'm Seth Monk. And he goes, oh yeah, former Buddhist monk. And I was like, how the fuck does Nako know who I am? But I was like, yes, that is me. And then we chatted a little bit and we took some photos, and it was cool. It was just like a really cool experience. So, putting stuff up into that field, putting stuff up towards the feeling of victory, imagine that this is your area, your zone of manifestation. It's up here, right? This is an active energetic zone, right? Because victory, yeah, whoa, here, boom. This is this feeling of victory. This is a high energy state, right? For those on Facebook can't see, I'm all the way up, right? All the way up here. So J-Ma, so we take stuff and we can actually move it up into that field, take goals that we have and put it into the field, things we're trying to accomplish, even things within us, because what I did last night is I was like seeing Nako, put it into the field. I was like, ooh, I feel like nervous or unworthy. Cool. Put my unworthiness into the field. Oh, I feel a little bit embarrassed that like, I'm like a grown man and like really like fangirling out over this artist. Like, cool. Put that in the field, right? Just to start taking stuff and putting it up into that field. As we say, giving it up, right? I give up. Put your hands up, right? You give stuff up. I also heard people say things like give it to God, right? To give up, give it upwards, right? I'm not giving up. I'm giving up. Give up. Give it up. Give the things that you're struggling with up to be dealt with, to be solved, right? Throw it up into the field. I use this terminology a lot in my life now. I say, I'm throwing it in the field, throwing it up into the field to be resolved, to be dealt with, to let the thing happen, releasing control. Yeah. You're loving, Alexandra says she's loving this new understanding in her body. Very good. Yeah. So noticing, and I've talked about this before, but I'll talk about it very quickly. For instance, also another way to use this, let's say you're trying to become like a famous singer, right? And I say, where's famous for you? And you're like, oh, it's kind of like here. And it's like, okay, like, where's your feeling of worthiness? And it's like, well, it's down in my belly. Okay. Where's your feeling of success? Oh, success is up here. Okay. Maybe I said that wrong. Let's try again. If I said to you, like, where's your feeling of being a singer? You're like, here. And I was like, cool. Where's your feeling of worthiness? And you were like, here. And I was like, cool. Where's success? And you said, here. This is success. And I'd say, where's like being like super rich? And you'd be like here, super rich. And I was like, okay. So your feeling of being a singer is actually tied more towards your feeling of worthiness, right? Or unworthiness than it is towards the feeling of success or richness, which is all up here. So if you want to be a famous singer, you have to take your feeling of singer, right? This thing, and you have to shift it towards the feeling of success. If you're in a relationship and I say, where's your relationship feel in your body? And you say, it's like, here. I'm like, cool. Where's your feeling of love? Oh, it's like around here. Oh, amazing. Where's your feeling of like sex? Ooh, it's out here. Cool. Where's your feeling of betrayal? Oh, it's here. I'm like, oh, interesting. So your relationship is right next to your feeling of betrayal, whereas your feeling of love is actually out of your body, and your feeling of success is outside of your body, and your feeling of sex is outside of your body. You're going to connect towards that because you're grouping those things together. So imagine that we are creating our reality by what we energetically group together, right? So I've talked about this before. So shifting things, as I say, putting them up into the field, identifying for yourself, where's my high energy state? Where's that feeling of success? Where's my excitement? Where's my inspiration? It's usually up around here somewhere, right? So taking stuff and throwing it up into the field, putting it towards that, and then letting it go. And this is very important. This is the surrender, right? I'm putting it up and I'm surrendering and I'm letting the thing happen. So utilizing our field, utilizing our energy field for creation, for manifestation, but also for connection, right? And also just for allowing our own lives to be happier, more energetic, rich. Cool. All right. With all that said, I'm getting warm. I'm going to take this off. I don't even know what I have underneath there. Okay. I have something underneath it. Good enough. I invite you all to close your eyes as I'm stripping down here. We're going to do a short meditation together. So connecting to the fields, and you'll notice right now this collective feeling that's beginning to descend upon us. You can already feel the energy of peace and stillness starting to descend upon the field of this group. So closing your eyes, taking a few deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you relax, I'm going to utilize the energy field to shift our collective vibration to one of stillness, listening, into space. What does space sound like? Breathing and relaxing. Listening to the space around you. In between your thoughts. In between your breath. Whole body relax. Relaxing the entire body at once. Allowing the field to work its magic on you. It feels good to feel good, to slow down, to connect to my body. It feels good to breathe. To rest my mind. It feels good to relax. Feeling the space around you. Breathing into the space around you. Everything belongs. Everything you are experiencing belongs. Just as it is. Be with it. Be with it. Be breathe. Be. Breathe. And connecting into the space around you. Becoming. The field of energy. Taking a really deep and full breath. Releasing everything that's left to release. Receiving everything that's left to receive. As we become nothing, we become everything. And gently stretching out your arms, your legs, wiggling your fingers and toes. And returning. We're not. Thank you all for joining me this evening for that little dip into the world of spirits. I have a bunch of these Tuesday Night Lives up on my Facebook, on YouTube, on my Instagram. Feel free to continue journeying on without me in this space, in this field. I appreciate all of you taking your time to be with me tonight. I also want to say that I really appreciate your donations. They help me continue doing this work. So thank you so much. My Venmo is up on my Facebook. I really wish you all a lot of luck, a lot of joy, a lot of success. Putting all of you up into my field. This is how I pray for you. Putting you up into my field next to my feelings of success. I appreciate your presence, your hearts, your minds, your love. Please take this energy out, ripple it out into the world. Remember the field. You are rich, energetic rich. Thank you all for the love. Appreciate you. And I will see you next Tuesday night. On Wednesday, I actually go to Italy for a couple of days to Donnie Epstein, who I mentioned before. I have his book back there. To a 4-day seminar where he will work on me directly. So I'll be getting a lot of direct energetic transmissions from him. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'll be in Lake Como, Italy, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Or something. And looking forward to charging myself up so that I can continue sharing an energy-rich vibration with all of you. Not sure if Lake Como is good for Switzerland. I will check on the map. So thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. It's always a pleasure. This is a lot of fun. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. Get some great sleep. And I'll see you soon. Tuesday Night Live. Out.